If you're looking for the best trick plays in Madden to confuse your opponent, you've come to the right place. And for the best Madden tips all year long, make sure to subscribe and turn the bell icon on. We're starting with the pistol wing flex close, and we're going to look at the speed option. This can only be found in the Chiefs playbook, but it's one of the best option plays in the game. The defense usually leaves the pitch wide open, so you can just pitch it to the running back by pressing the LB or the L1 button. You could also run this to the opposite side of the field. A lot of times they're going to focus on the QB, and they're just going to leave the pitch wide open. But what really makes this play glitchy is you can just keep it easily with the QB a lot of times and get some sneaky good yards that they're not expecting. But even if it looks like the entire play is defended, usually if you time the pitch right, you're going to get some big yards. Next, we're looking at the single back bunch tight end formation, and the play is the wide receiver power fake jet. Up on the screen is all of the playbooks with this play. It looks like a jet sweep to the first receiver, but no, he fakes it and then hands it to the second receiver that comes in motion behind the first receiver. This is a very tricky play that people are usually not expecting. You just want to make sure that you put a very fast skill position player in this spot so that you can get the most yards possible. And even in short yard situations, you can cut this up the middle when there's an open run lane, and it makes it very hard to stop. A lot of times that's how I like to use this play because the defense will over pursue to the outside and give you the easy rushing lanes. And there's also multiple other plays with this same motion in the formation, so you can really trick your opponents by using the running back run, which goes to the opposite side of the field, so they're going to over pursue and probably play the jet sweep. Then you've also got the play action, so if they're expecting one of the guys to get the ball for a run play, it's likely going to leave one of the receivers open for a big gain. Next, we're going to look at the I form tight, and the play is going to be the halfback pass. This is only found in the run and gun playbook. Now, what makes this play really tough is that you can take off with the running back as soon as he gets the ball, and because it's a halfback pass play, a lot of the times the defense will drop back initially and they will not even pay attention to the fact that you are a running threat with the running back at QB. Now, if your halfback has decent passing stats, you can also get some passes off as well over the top of the defense. A lot of times the defense will bug out a little bit versus this play, so it is a little risky to throw the pass with the running back, but you can make it happen. Another way this play is glitchy is if you just stop with the running back and wait. Notice how a lot of the defenders will then begin to chase him in the backfield, and this leaves the receivers wide open for passes. Watch again as we kind of stand still. Some of the defenders rush down and they leave the receiver open. So this play is kind of glitchy both ways. If you run immediately, they don't pay attention to you, but if you stop briefly and just stand there, then they all pay attention to you and leave the pass open. Next, we're going to look at the gun split close pro, and the play we're going to be using is a shovel option. Up on the screen is all of the playbooks with this play. Now, this one's really tricky because it could go one of three ways. You can pitch it to the first running back by pressing the RB or R1 button, and that acts as a regular option. Then if you use the LB or L1 button, you can pitch it to the first running back, and this is really sneaky for easy yards. But you can also just keep it with the QB if the lane's there, and this makes it a very hard run to stop. But you can really get some big yards with this play as they never really know which person to defend, and sometimes you can get some huge gains just like this by shoveling that pass over the line and getting a big pickup. The next formation is single back bunch, and the play we're going to look at is the pitch wide receiver reverse. Up on the screen are all of the playbooks with this play. This looks like a halfback pitch, but no, it's actually going to the receiver on the other side, and you definitely want a fast receiver here to get the most out of this play. This one is not the most overpowered trick play, but it can be useful here and there if you're just trying to trick your opponent or if you're up big and you just want to stun on them. But it plays very well with the actual halfback pitch that is a very good run play, so they work well together. The next formation is the gun doubles Y off, and the play we're looking at is the fake jet pass power. This is only in the Chiefs playbook. Now, this is a very hard QB run to stop. It's usually going to get you a solid 2 to 5 yards on most runs because it's just a very hard run to hit in the backfield. It's very annoying to stop, and you can easily take this, especially with having extra blockers. You can make big runs like this all the way for 6. But you've got other plays in this formation with the same motion, like the jet touch pass, which takes you immediately to the outside. This makes it hard to defend all these different runs and passes. You can hand it off to the running back as well and hit him to the other side of the field. This is a very tricky formation to stop. You also have a play action, and if they're expecting run, that's going to give you some deep shots down the field for big plays. Next, we're looking at the Wildcat slot flex, and this has a bunch of different plays in it, only found in the Titans playbook, but we want to look at the power run. This is one of the best QB runs in the game, and with Derrick Henry, this is even harder to stop. Much like the other QB run we just showed, it's very hard to stop this for a couple yards. If you need a couple yards, this one's usually going to get the job done because most people have no clue how to stop it, but it also leaves some big rushing lanes for some big rushes as well. It's just one of those runs that is very hard to hit in the backfield, and most people have no idea how to do it. But it also has some other plays that play off of this, like the jet touch pass, and you take this to the outside for some huge gains just like this, taking it down the field, giving a stiff arm and scoring a touchdown. You can also use the counter run to the opposite side. This one isn't as good, but it's just something you can mix in for fun to throw your opponent off. The other wildcat formation, the trips over, is only found in the run and gun playbook, and this one has a ton of different plays, including pass plays, but we want to look at the power play first, similar to the run we just showed with Henry, but this one I feel like even has slightly better blocking. This is another really tough QB run to stop out of the wildcat because of the way the motions are, the way the blocking is. You can really gash the defense for some big yards. We're going to look at the blast RT as well. This is just a QB blast, and this one is even harder to stop because there's no motion, there's no anything. You just immediately start going forward. Good luck stopping this run for less than a couple yards when you really need it. But you've got other plays as well. Another jet sweep touch pass that you can take to the outside in this formation. And then if you have a skill position guy with some good throwing stats, or if you just want to use the fast QB back here, you can. But this is going to open up some passing opportunities for you as well, especially because they're going to be expecting run and might even go as far as run committing. You can really do some damage with these plays if you want to just have fun and trick your opponent. Next, we're looking at the pistol Philly formation. Of course, we're looking at the Philly special and the fake Philly. You can find this in the Eagles playbook and the Jags playbook. Now, with the Philly special, you want to make sure that you have a skill position player at the wide receiver spot that has some decent throwing stats, because you're going to be trying to throw this down to the QB. This is a very fun play to use to try to trick your opponents or your friends. You can throw it to some of the other receivers on the play as well if you see that they're open. It's a very fun play to use. However, the play that can really confuse them is the fake Philly, because when people see this, they're expecting the Philly special pass, but you can keep this with the running back who's at QB, and you can bust off some crazy big runs. Now let's look at the fake field goals. These are some of the best trick plays in the game. There's a bunch of runs and passes, but the first one we want to look at is the fake field goal sprint out pass. It's good to have a fast QB at the holder spot here if you can help it, and what you want to usually do is you want to look for the tight end leaking out quick. Usually your opponents are going to come out and field goal block, and this is going to allow you maybe once a game to get a big play or convert a big fourth down. You can also throw it to the lineman up ahead, but just be mindful that he might not have the best catching stats. But another way this play is really glitchy is you can literally just keep it with the QB, take off, and if they're in an all-out block, you're going down the field for a huge gain. We can also look at the fake field goal K-flip pass. This is when the pass gets flipped to the actual kicker and he passes to the tight end leaking out. A lot of times they're going to expect the pass to go to the other side, so this one can really catch him off guard. We can also do the little shovel to the tight end as well. This one isn't as good, but if you just need a couple yards, usually this can get the job done. And now let's look at the fake punts. Now the best play is really going to be the fake punt fullback off tackle. If it's 4th and 1, 4th and 2, this usually does a really good job at picking up a few solid yards. It's one of those things you can only use once a game. You just can't run these all game long, but you can keep this in your back pocket to pick up some good yards. Some playbooks also have the fake punt sweep, which is really good as well. People don't expect this one. They expect the regular off tackle, but this one goes to the other side of the field and does a good job of picking up easy yards as well. Now that you know all the trick plays, you need to know the best tips and tricks for the entire game as a whole so that you can dominate your opponent, and you can watch that video right here on the screen.